The term moat or moats is used in business to describe something that protects it from competition. It is something that investors like Warren Buffett look at when considering which companies to invest in. But back in Tesla's Q1 2018 earnings call, Elon said moats are lame. He said what matters is the pace of innovation. I'm going to explain why I think this might be one of the biggest things affecting Elon Musk and Tesla's success, and how it could be the single biggest thing affecting the world, and how it might affect your life more than anything else. The term compound interest is used in finance to describe when you make money from your profits and you keep reinvesting those profits, and those profits keep increasing as a result. So imagine you invested $1 and made 10 cents on that dollar. Now you reinvest that 10 cents and you're investing with $1.10. Next time your profits may be 11 cents. Each time that compounds or you reinvest the profits, the total amount can grow up in a pretty insane way. The two things that affect compounding are the amount of growth and the speed of that growth. Let's take the example of that dollar that grew by 10 cents. That 10 cents represents a growth of 10%. What we didn't talk about was over what period of time that 10% improvement took place. The most common time increment that people use for this is years. If your investment was growing 10% annually, after 1 year, you'd make 10 cents on the dollar. After the second year, you'd have $1.22 in total. By the end of the 10th year, you'd have over $2.50. Imagine instead of that, you were growing 10% every week instead of every year. After 10 years, rather than having about $2.50 or $2.70, you'd have over $440 million. Now, one of the great things about compounding growth is it's not just limited to money and finance. Compounding can apply to all sorts of different improvements. Take learning as an example. With each new thing you learn, you can take what you learned to learn the next thing. Without numbers, you can't count. Without counting, you can't do math. Without math, you can't do physics. Without physics, you can't send a rocket to space. Each new skill or improvement in life can lead to new things. And those new things can lead to subsequent new things. That's how compounding works. When growth happens slowly, that leads to linear growth. When growth happens quickly, that leads to exponential growth. Linear growth means the number is increasing. Exponential growth means the number is multiplying. The American inventor and futurist Ray Kurzweil often uses the example of the Human Genome Project. It took them 7 years to get the first 1% of the genome mapped. Well, based on that logic, 1%, 7 years, well, if every percent takes 7 years, then it'll take 700 years to complete the project. That's ridiculous. But what people are forgetting here, and Ray Kurzweil likes to point out, is that 1% is only 7 doublings away from 100%. What people get wrong here is they expect linear growth to continue, when in reality, when they map that first 1% of the human genome, they could take all that they learned in getting that first 1% and apply it to the next percent. 1% is actually only 7 doublings away from 100%. It was only another 7 years before they completed the Human Genome Project. And now, in the year 2021, we're seeing all sorts of technologies grow at an exponential rate. This is because we can use all of our existing technologies to create the next technology. And then we can use that next technology for each subsequent technological improvement. When Tesla started out, they didn't even know how to build a vehicle. 10 years later, their original Model S won Motor Trend Car of the Year. That same year, they shipped 22,000 vehicles. Last year in 2020, they shipped 500,000 vehicles. They expect to sell 20 million vehicles in 2030. Tesla vehicles are now the #1 in the world in terms of safety, efficiency, gaming, and self-driving. They are leaders in over-the-air software updates that improve the performance of the vehicle. They are on a trajectory to have the world's most cost-effective battery systems. They have the lowest install cost of residential solar systems in the United States. They are inventing new products like the solar roof, and I believe they are on track to become the world's largest energy company. This is thanks to their combination of battery storage, solar, and software systems. When they made what was then the largest battery system in the world, the Hornsdale Power Reserve in Australia, they helped stabilize the entire region's power system, which had previously been experiencing instability and brownouts. This saved the system and the end users loads of money because they no longer had to pay to fire up expensive and dirty peaker plants. They are currently building new factories at an incredible rate. And what's craziest of all is they continue to improve at a rate faster than anyone else. If they continue to improve at this pace, at some point you would have to expand beyond planet Earth and grow throughout the solar system, which, as crazy as it seems, Elon is doing. The entire universe is made up of energy and matter. As far as humans have been able to observe, it's all governed by the same laws of physics. If you go far enough down the rabbit hole of Ray Kurzweil exponential predictions, we will be able to solve death, harness the power of planets and stars, and the entire universe wakes up. The upper limits of exponential growth are set by physics, not our assumptions. How far we see this go within our lifetimes is not limited by time or growth independently. The outcomes for the world depend on the combination of the two. It's the rate at which we can make improvements that really matters. But there's nothing saying we continue to automatically grow as a civilization. The Roman Empire and many other empires fell. The world can revert to stagnation if people get too stuck in their ways. This is often driven by entrenched powers who use their dominant position to stifle competition and retain their power, aka moats. For years, the United States had lost their ability to send their own astronauts to space, partly because big aerospace giants were either unable or unwilling to do the work it took to develop new technologies. But they were the only players, so they're getting all the work in spite of that. So SpaceX came along and has been so focused on improvements like rocket reusability that they have dropped the cost of bringing cargo and people to space to a fraction of what the old players were charging. In 2003, the same year that Tesla was founded, GM, who had the opportunity to be the lead in electric vehicles, decided instead that it would be a better move to just recall all their EV1s and crush them. This was because they deemed it to be an unprofitable niche. Yet another moat in action. All it took was a scrappy Silicon Valley startup backed by Elon Musk's fierce pace of innovation to dethrone the entrenched automobile powers, who previously seemed unassailable. Moats are lame. They are defensive walls used to promote stagnation. While your so-called value stock is focused on building moats, Tesla will be releasing their patents for free as Elon builds a bridge to go right over your moat. Or better yet, he can come from the sky in a rocket ship or underground in a boring tunnel. Tesla's pace of innovation is setting it up to become the biggest company in the world. And in spite of there being a clear roadmap to it becoming a multi-trillion-dollar company, their rapid pace of innovation continues. So I believe the biggest surprises and innovations are yet to come. Thank you for watching Buying Yourself. I want to bring you more of this. You can help me do that by liking and subscribing and supporting on Patreon. The link is in the description. So where do you think the future is going? What new products might Tesla release over the coming decades? Leave a comment below. I read every one. Again, thanks for watching Buying Yourself.